Yeah, hello Shahid. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes. So, hello everyone. I welcome you all. So, today we have Shahid with us, and Shahid will be sharing his journey. So, Shahid, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. I hope you are doing good too.
Yes, we are doing good. So, we are glad to have you here, Shahid. And first of all, congratulations on your achievement. So, Shahid, please walk us through your journey from being a student at DataMites and landing a job. Currently, I think you are working as a senior business analyst at Amazon. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
So,
that's correct.
wonderful, wonderful. So, please walk us through your journey.
So my professional journey began at Amazon as a transaction risk investigator in 2016. So back then I was in Bangalore. So there, like I was into the world of risk management and fraud detection. So which exposed me to the power of data in decision making processes, right? So as I progressed as a senior risk analyst post the transaction risk investigator, I realized the growing importance of data in driving business decisions or making business strategies. So the turning point in my career came in December 29 when I joined DataMites. Okay, so I joined DataMites in 2019, and post joining DataMites, so I got into a data specialist role in Amazon. So that was an internal moment. Okay. So the course opened up a lot of opportunities and possibilities for me. I was equipped with skills in Python, statistical methods and analysis, and various roles into machine learning. So it was a pivotal moment, I would say, that allowed me to blend my business knowledge with the data science techniques. So it was a deadly mixture, I would say. So following this certification, right? So I transitioned into more data-centric roles, as I mentioned, but I never limit myself to the job titles. So I used to apply my skills throughout my career, and like learning various ways of knowing about various problems in data and various problems in business, and then like forming solutions for it. So my skills and like learning whenever and wherever required is still that like curious to learn thing there. So I built various forecasting models, worked in feature engineering specifically, then creating sophisticated dashboards like to transform data into like storytelling, building dashboards to like to communicate that data to various stakeholders, and like use a lot of my time in product analysis and like innovating new programs for Amazon.
Wonderful, wonderful to know about this, Shahid. So you said you completed, you are doing course around 2019 at DataMind. So how were the sessions that time? So you a offline student or you did this course online? If you can tell something about the sessions at DataMind.
Yeah, it was offline, and I used it was like offline and weekend classes were there. Yeah, that was in Bangalore. 2019 December, if I'm not wrong. I have joined DataMites. It was 6 weeks course. Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you joined DataMites. You were coming offline as a offline student on weekends.
Correct.
Wonderful to know about it. So during a study period, were there any study pattern you followed when you were learning, when you were taking the sessions? If you can tell something about that, Shahid.
Yeah, I think for me, the good thing that happened is like, okay, so the projects which were assigned to me by DataMites, right? So those projects were there. I was trying to do them side by side. But then the good thing which happened with me is like I was already into Amazon, right? And I was I was into a role where I can, do stuff related to data. And that was above and beyond my capabilities back then, but I like started using that real time data and solving business problems. So that actually helped me like to grow in my domain. Not everyone gets that opportunity, but if people are looking, like they can probably do something with Kaggle or like participate in various competitions there, that helps.
Yes, correct, Shahid. So, you tell me about your journey of learning programming. So, what's programming new to you, or you were it was challenging for you to learn Python during that time when you started with it?
Yeah, so I have done bachelor's in commerce. So it was totally new to me. I wasn't exposed to data and how things work there, right? So all the programming languages which I've learned, like mainly Python, SQL, basically all the tools which I'm using currently, I wasn't aware of them, right? So uh, I got introduced to these tools in DataMites, and I would say uh, rather than having that theoretical knowledge and knowing about it once, twice, thrice, it's I feel it's about like doing solving practical problems. Like if you are into a like if you have identified a business problem, right? Now you have to apply your skills. Maybe using Python, you want to do some analysis, right? So like rather than thinking that like okay, this is step one, step two, like use your brain. Try to see like how you can approach this problem, if this is like a real problem in the world, and how will you approach it, right? So try to solve that with Python. So today you might be very slow, you might use internet, try to understand how it works or how various functions works, and what type of model are you going to use there, right? But as you grow, right, so you will feel very comfortable about it, like using it in your day-to-day life, and like trying to solve day-to-day challenges is something which was useful for me.
That's wonderful advice, Shahid, and I'm telling all the listeners to listen to this advice. So they feel programming is always difficult. Okay, where they will be using it, especially the data analyst people, they keep on asking why programming is required. So I tell them every day that in this modern world, programming is very important. Everyone should know. So everyone should try to implement it practically, whatever they are learning. So that's what is important nowadays. Wonderful, Shahid. So tell me about your day-to-day work as a senior business analyst, what you do at Amazon on day-to-day basis. If you can tell something about that.
Yeah, definitely. But before that, I want to come to your answer. Yeah, like indeed, it's very true. So in
Correct.
current world, being associated with data is kind of mandatory now. As we know, like AI is growing, right? So in all the aspects of our business, right? So we tend to utilize that AI technology in our businesses to make our work and life easier, right? So now it's mandatory that we not only learn programming, like if you know about programming, that's good, but then you should know how to utilize those skills. So that has become very mandatory in current day world. Uh, yeah. So your question was what are my day-to-day activities, right? So currently the role I am in, okay, the domain I am in again is related to abuse. It's like doing research in abuse segments or like fraud segments, right? So currently, my day-to-day activities will be like, okay, I have not transitioned, but like something new which I have been learning recently is like building data pipelines, right? So I use ETL to build data pipelines. Like we have a pool of data, maybe a data lake, right? And then we have a business problem. Now we have a lot of data, but we cannot use that entire data for this business problem, right? So we have to understand what segment of data can be used for this problem. And then once we identify that, then transitioning that data from different pools and basically creating a data pipeline through ETL and then storing that data into various data sets. Now, once that is stored into various data sets, then we see like use that data to solve the business problems. Like maybe on top of that data, we build models and create metrics, various metrics for business, like to gauge where we stand now and where we are going to go in next year or so, or maybe in next 3 years or 2 years, right? So that's something which I have been doing currently.
Okay, that's wonderful. So, any specific tools you use for your work? If you can tell something about the tools which you use, like BI tools or any other tools.
Yeah, so I mainly work on SQL currently, and for BI tool, business intelligence related, I use ETL, like transform the data here and there, and then I also use Amazon QuickSight. So it's a visualization tool, same as Tableau and Power BI. So I use that to build like sophisticated dashboards to do deep dive on data on different metrics and like projections and things like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Python also to automate some of the stuff. And like as I mentioned, I have recently built one forecasting model, right? So there definitely we use Python.
wonderful, wonderful, Shahid. So, you said about SQL, you are using SQL in your work. So, other than SQL, what do you think? What you can say the new data scientists or data analysts who are studying now, on which you can say technology they should focus more so that it will be useful for them when they will be getting the job?
I think it's always about um, the kind of business problem they are trying to solve, right? Now, if we are specifying about like freshers, right? So for freshers, I think basics of SQL or maybe intermediate, learning Python, that's must, right? Learning Python is must, and maybe one of the visualization tool like Tableau, Power BI, or any other visualization tool you take up, and some basic understanding of or intermediate understanding of clouds, right? Like AWS, right? They can learn about it. Uh, and yeah, if they have knowledge about AI, like maybe some AI tools, that's an advantage. Like that's a plus for now. But I would suggest like do not stick to get only a title. Like we are behind getting into a data scientist role, right? But if you are getting any kind of data related role, if you go into that, you will yourself understand how big the data world is and what kind of opportunities are there like ahead of you. So ultimately, if you join some data related job at basic level, but you will utilize your skills there and you will learn and you will grow from there. So do not wait for a specific title. I can suggest that.
Yes, absolutely correct. So I agree to this because data world is only so much and you have lot of things to learn. So we cannot stop with only the title, right? What we get as data scientist and all. You have to take beyond that whatever knowledge you see, and the fields are growing. You can see every now and then we can see a lot of technologies coming up. So please be open to learn all those things, which I tell my students also. Wonderful, wonderful, Shahid.
Yeah, so the demand of data professionals like it continues to grow, right, across industries. So there are like exciting opportunities in emerging fields like healthcare analytics, now environmental data science, like AI-driven marketing or AI-driven decision making. So there is a lot. Like there is something called data translators also. Like this role is also like evolving currently, like data translate. So what they do is basically uh, they um, they give like if there is a non-technical person, maybe your stakeholders or someone who's running the business, right? So you transform the data knowledge to them, like being an intermediator. So that's also something you can think of. Prompt engineering, there is a lot.
Yes, correct, Shahid. So, can you tell me something about your projects which you did at DataMites? So, were they helpful for you in your job or during your interviews? If you can tell about those.
Yeah, I remember one project which I did, and the projects which I was assigned from DataMites, I did not do them. So I did something which was related to my domain back then. So I did a credit card fraud detection project. So since I had the business knowledge, right? So I was thinking of using my skills which I learned in data mites, and then applying those skills. Like that actually helped me. I had the business knowledge that actually helped me how we can approach the problem into multiple ways and directions. So that was one. And then I did a project on like it's back in 2019, right? So I did a project on some price predictions. So I did a project on that too.
Okay, so you said when you were doing course at DataMarts, you were already working at Amazon, right? You were working out there.
Correct.
Okay, and then you transitioned your role from your other domain to the analyst one.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So, any suggestions you can give to our students regarding, right, how they should manage their time during the study period? So, when they are learning over here, okay, so how they should manage their time, how much time they should give every day for learning, if you can tell about that.
Yeah, I don't know like if all our freshers are like data professionals or they're actually freshers, right? So if uh, like everything around us is data, it's not about like specific time or I don't think it always work building a timetable around like how much time you should learn or not, right? So everything around us is data. Like even we talking is a data, right? So thinking about it, and then you get time and try to focus on those examples, or I would say like it's not enough. Like the time you invest in learning is not going to be enough anytime, right? Because this field is evolving a lot. But to gain those to gain that basic knowledge and be confident about what you have learned so far is like I would suggest whenever you get time, like maybe 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, 4 hours a day. So if you have a specific problem, you identified in Kaggle or from somewhere you have taken the project, right? Just focus on that specific area. What are you going to do today? Like, are you going to understand that business problem? Just drive that completely. Like, do not put it halfway. So if you put it halfway, then tomorrow you might have to start it from scratch again. Now you understood what is the business problem, and you understood what kind of approaches you are going to use to solve that business problem. Now tomorrow just do the analysis on that project. Like once you complete that entire analysis, maybe it takes you 1 hour, half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, right? Because you have already understood like how you are going to approach that problem. Now you did your analysis, right? So tomorrow think about like using various models and check how they are doing. So it's like that. Like if you try to solve it in a one single day, you may, but you may not understand a lot of things, right? So for freshers, what I have done at my time is like we always jump into writing codes or modeling things, right? So that's not the right way. Like anyone can model things in today's world with the help of generative AI. But what is the difference here is like if you understand those algorithms and you understand where and how to use them. So that is the primary thing. So whatever model you use, try to understand the basics of it, how it works, and in interviews that will actually help you.
Yes, correct. So absolutely correct. The data is how you can create the model, right? Which algorithm to be used for that, that understanding first the students should have. Absolutely correct, Shahid. So when you talked about interviews, now let's have some tips about interviews. So can you give some tips for the students how they can prepare for the interviews and all?
Yeah, like having basics correct is something that will help, and that's number one. And then second is do as many projects as you can, because in interview you will have a lot of examples, like to lead your interviews, right? So maybe if one example doesn't go well, you can probably give another example. This is how I have approached this problem, right? And then uh, have your projects ready. Okay, maybe you document them somewhere, like maybe in you have you have something stored in Jupyter notebooks, or you have something in Word, right? So if an interviewer says like take me through this project or something, like you don't have to, like you will explain him definitely, but if you say like okay, I have done documentation and this is the documentation, I can take you through the documentation, he will also understand, okay, so he has a keen knowledge about this project and like necessary skills to solve the business problems. So you can explain him, that kind of gives an edge. And also oh yeah, so in LinkedIn, whenever you reach out to someone for referrals, right? So what we do is we say like, okay, you are working in this company, and can you check like if there is any data related role? I am data enthusiast, right? But that's not going to help. So all of us are like professionals, right? So they have their kind of things in their plate, and they do that, like they can't search jobs for you, right? So you have to do your own research, maybe go to that company site and see what all skills you have, and what are jobs there which are related to your skills. Copy those links, create a simple draft, and send it across. Say these are the jobs I am interested in your company, and my skills are totally mapping. This is my resume. Can you help in like referring me there, right? And also like just don't do it and forget. Follow up, keep following up. Don't think that other person will get annoyed. It's just they don't have time. Maybe sometimes they look at it and forget about it, because a lot of things, right, in life. So you can keep following up, maybe after a day, after a week, just keep following up. And the fourth thing which I would say is be on top of it, like whenever a job opening is coming, right? So it's as recent as it like if it's very recent, just start applying for it. So the more you wait, the more it, like you will have lesser chances to be called for that job, or to be called for that interview. So don't wait a lot, just like see if there is a new opportunity, just apply for it, dig in there. So maybe these four will help.
Yes, correct, correct, absolutely correct, Shahid. That's a very good advice which you have given you. So I can see some questions coming up from students. So students, you can use Q&A and chat to ask questions to Shahid. Shahid will answer your questions. So which tools or softwares you use mostly in your role, and how do they enhance your work? I think you already answered about it, but you can tell about it in detail. Which tools you use in your work currently, Shahid?
Yeah, so SQL, Python very less, mainly SQL, and then we use ETL, and we use for big data we use Gradle. I mean, oh yeah, Spark, right? So these are the tools I mainly use in Amazon. Like for dashboarding, we use QuickSight. Earlier we used to use Tableau, but now we use QuickSight mainly. Yeah.
Okay, so any more questions, you can use Q&A chat to ask questions to Shahid. He will answer that. So, yes, one more question is coming from Vijay Lakshmi. What is the most rewarding aspects of your role as senior business analyst?
Rewarding aspects of compensation. Yeah, so uh, as I said earlier, right? So it's not always like fitting yourself into the title, right? So in Amazon, we have a culture where we do not stick ourselves in once like uh, at like we do not blend in with the titles, right? So we tend to do more like if you are interested in something, we get to do those things and equally get rewarded also on top of that. Like the reward is in terms of like if you want to go into some domain and you are already doing that part in your current role because of the flexibility you have, then definitely you are gaining that experience in your current role. And tomorrow if you have to go into that direction, then definitely you can go because you have the experience, right? So that's something rewarding. And also the like there is no restriction in like solving a problem in a specific way, right? So if you know that okay, you have stairs to go to first floor, that's okay. Like, but if you have developed a new way which is much easier, so people will encourage you to do that. And like you yourself will be innovative in that case, right? So thinking about innovation all the time is something which is very rewarding.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely correct. So that's very important in any organization. So whatever you are doing, it should be recognized by the organization, and that is what is rewarding, right? So that's wonderful. So Ruchita is asking, can you describe the key challenges you faced during transition to a senior business analyst position?
Key challenges. Yeah, so we like okay, so there is a level or scale of doing anything, right? So as a fresher, I may do certain things in a specific way, which could be like very messy, right? So for example, writing a code. So if I can write that code in like 3 lines, as a fresher, I do that in like 10, 12, or 13 lines, right? So but like as you gain experience, you like you get that thing with the experience, right? And when you apply that to your role, that's what will like highlight your skills, or that's what will highlight your projects, or classify your projects from a fresher or a non-senior role to a senior role, right? So if I do a project in a certain way, maybe there will be a lot of questions, right? But as a senior business analyst, if you do the similar project, you'll make sure that the questions which leadership will have, you are already answering them by writing it in a specific way, right? So that is something which is challenging, but that will come with the time, so that won't happen overnight. And also cross team collaboration, right? So cross team collaboration is something like you are not specifying yourself into a specific team like you work for, right? But then you have interdependencies. Like as a data professional, you should have like efficient and effective data pipelines, and that should be clean, and you should get accurate data, right? Then as an analyst, you might analyze that data and use them into like transform them into like actionable form, right? For business to make decisions. And then maybe from there, you tend to like with your analysis, maybe business might take decision whether this should be called a science problem, or maybe some scientists will look into that and say like if it's a science problem or not, right? So there is this interdependency, and that interdependency can only be fulfilled when you do cross team collaborations, right? So that's also challenging and important at the same point of time. I think I answered.
Yes, correct, correct. So, any more questions, team, from LinkedIn or any other medium? Do we have any queries from our attendees? Okay, so I don't think we have any more queries. So yes, Thank you so much, Shahid. Thank you for such insightful, you can say, information which you have shared to all our attendees. And I hope everyone got lots of information from you. So thank you once more for from your busy schedule. You took your time and you shared your knowledge and experience with us. So once again, I congratulate you on your achievement, and your journey is really very inspiring. I hope this will help all of us, whatever you insights, whatever information you shared with us. And I wish you all a great success in your future endeavors and your career. So all the best, Shahid. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to everyone. I hope my story can provide you the valuable perspective of you to comments on your own journey in the world of data science. Yeah, all the best to everyone. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you, Shahid. Bye.